Alright, so today I want to talk about the Council of Swordsmasters, aka the Holy Order of the Sword. I'm going to be explaining what they are exactly, and we're going to get into how strong they could be, because I think we have more or less a pretty good idea of this. And I really like the Council of Swordsmasters. It adds depth to the world of One Punch Man in a much needed way, because it's expanding not only upon Atomic Samurai, but further upon one of the aspects of the series in the swordsmen, because, you know, we have the ninjas, we have the martial artists, so now we have this aspect as well. So as the name implies, it's quite literally a council of masters of the sword. As E. Iron says, they are the greatest wielders of the sword. So I'm going to assume that that means that these are like the one above all swordsmen. Like, there's no one above them in the world. This is as high as it gets. I mean, at least as far as we know. I mean, maybe later on in the story, there's some secret guys out there. That's always a possibility. But for now, it seems like these are like the bang and bombs, you know, of the swordsmen. So this group consists of 5 members, as far as we know. So we've got, of course, Atomic Samurai, aka Kamikaze. He seems to be the strongest. I think that's pretty fair to say. And then we've got Nichiren. He's like this blind-looking dude. To me, he seems to be based off of Zatoichi, the blind samurai. I think that's where One and Murata got the inspiration for this type guy. Also, a really interesting fact about this guy is that apparently Spring Mustachio was trained at one of his schools. Now, some translations say that this guy trained Spring Mustachio personally and that he is his direct disciple, but then there's other translations that say that he was just simply a part of one of Nichiren's schools. Regardless, the lineage is there, but it's also strange because Spring Mustachio has like a rapier, and he has like a fencing type style, as where it seems like Nichiren is more like a samurai or just a Japanese style of swordsman. But also, I don't really think it has to be that clear-cut and traditional in the world of One Punch Man, because we saw, you know, with the disciples of Atomic Samurai, E-Iron, Okama Itachi, and Bushido, they're not all the exact same style as Atomic Samurai, so I think it's more free-form in this sense. He more or less gives you the fundamentals and his overall style, and you choose how you want to translate that into your own style. Then there's Amahare, Zanbai, and of course Harakiri, who is no longer a member, but he originally was before, you know, he turned heel with the monster cells and everything. And according to Harakiri, the Council of Swordsmaster originally existed just to encourage competition. I guess it was a way for all of the best guys to come together, find out what's going on with each other, and then just feed off of each other and become stronger that way. You know, motivation to go above and beyond. If you see like one guy stronger than you, it's going to give you a motive to get stronger yourself. But it appears as time has went on that they've become more of a literal council, and they kind of just come together to discuss what is needed and whatnot. You know, they're kind of like bringing order to the world of swordsmen and whatnot. It's not so much just a competition thing anymore. And I think that's more or less the case now, because we saw Atomic Samurai brought them all together, or at least went to them. Also, their headquarters is in G City, for a little fun fact, to talk about the whole Garo crisis. And they seem to have a good sense of camaraderie. There wasn't any kind of like ill will or any kind of weird competitive nature between them. They all wanted to work together for one goal, and that was to take down Garo. They were actually happy that Atomic Samurai went to them rather than going to the Hero Association, because they feel that they can actually get the job done, and they also feel much more capable than the Hero Association in general. So yeah, that's the Council of Swordsmasters. There's not really much more to talk about with them. We don't really know anything outside of what I've just said. I mean, yeah, Atomic Samurai and Nichiren have disciples, but we don't know the disciples of the other guys. So I guess we could just go into speculation of how strong these guys possibly are. So I'm going to assume that they're at the minimum of demon level in their strength. I think that's fair to say, because Atomic Samurai, you know, he's like in the dragon's range of power for sure. And we could just assume that he is very likely the strongest among these guys. I mean, it's just speculation, of course, but I think it would be unlikely if he wasn't. Unless we're going to find out later on in the story that, like, Nichiren is an absolute beast in himself, which is possible because, you know, Bang and everything. But Bang is also going to give us an insight into how strong these guys could be. Because when Nichiren is talking to Atomic Samurai, he says, "Are there heroes stronger than I?" And Atomic Samurai says, "Stronger heroes? Yes. Silver Fang is one of them. So I guess that's showing us right there that there's multiple heroes that are stronger than these Council of Swordsmen members, which is fair to say because there's outrageous heroes in the association. Atomic Samurai is definitely aware of that, and it is confirmed, at least by his standards, that Silver Fang is one of them. So I guess these guys aren't high dragons, or at least Nichiren isn't a high dragon, because that's what I estimate Bang to be, and I guess the consensus of the community estimates him to be as well. Another thing is that we know Atomic Samurai only really acknowledges the strong. He wouldn't really deal with weaklings or anyone who he felt was too weak, so he wouldn't be a part of this council unless he knew that these dudes were extra powerful and clearly above everyone else, especially his own disciples. So that right there, along with me estimating them to be at least demon level, means that these guys are S-class. Like, if they were to join the Hero Association, they would for sure be in the S-class. Not saying on the high end, of course. They would probably be, you know, more towards the back end. But regardless, I think they're clearly on that level. I mean, why not? I mean, we saw that Atomic Samurai himself has A-class disciples, and we just found out that Nichiren, one of his disciples, one way or another, is Spring Mustachio, who in himself is an A-class hero. So if you could produce A-class level guys, I think it's fair to assume that you're likely an S-class level guy. So let's go a little further, and this might be just a hyperbolic statement from Nichiren, but he says that they, the swordsmen themselves, are worth more than 1,000 men. So maybe that's true, maybe it's not, I don't know, but I think that's more or less telling us that, like, yeah, they're pretty ridiculous. I mean, he also is, like, putting down the Hero Association and the heroes, not so much the S-class heroes. I think he's probably coming at, like, the A and B class. But he's more or less saying that, like, I don't know, just taking a guess, for, like, every 5 A-class heroes is, like, the equivalent of, like, 1 powerful swordsman. Something like that, maybe. But also, if we go further, we could gauge more of these guys' strength just from Harakiri. So Harakiri says that even before transforming into a monster, he was already able to draw his blade faster than sound. And he's just one of the members here, so I guess it could mean that they're all comparable in that aspect, because we know Atomic Samurai obviously draws his blade faster than sound. He likely draws his blade the fastest of all of them, but that doesn't mean that everyone else is too far behind him, you know? Again, just speculating here, but the fact that they have such camaraderie means that they're probably similar in skill, at least. Also, Harakiri is one of the few human-turned monsters who can go in between his human and monster form. We found out from Hellfire and Gale that in order to do this, you need to be pretty powerful and like a master of your body, more or less, and it appears that Harakiri is on this level, so he might be, you know, at a similar tier, I guess, as Hellfire and Gale. Of course, they have different skill sets and whatnot, but I think that's just giving us insight into how powerful just one of these Swordmasters on the council could be. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Let me know what you think about these guys. Are we going to see them in the future? Probably not. It would be cool if we did. I mean, why not? More depth and expansion to the world is always welcomed by me, at least. But let me know what you think. If you liked the video, please give it a like. I also have a Patreon. It gives you access to a weekly Q&A video. And if you haven't already, please subscribe as well. Have a great day. I'll see you in the next one.